What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Innovators Den. I'm formerly known as Hashtag, and I'm here with
Steve-O Business. And we got the special guest, Roc. What's up, Roc?
What's going on? What's going on, man? Good to see y'all. For
Man,
real.
you already know what's
It's
up.
been a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know you got a lot of things happening right now, but we just wanted to kind of start like your story, like getting to know you, who you are, and what's happening.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, right now it's just like, I was asked earlier, it's like, yo, what do you do? And to say like what you actually do is just like an understatement, because like there's so many roles and so many hats that we all put on in this life, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Especially in entertainment. So, for me predominantly I'm working in music, and it all really started for me just at a young age, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up Brooklyn, New York, Albany Projects, you know what I'm saying? The hood of all hoods. They used to call it the 9 buildings of death, man. It was just, but I grew up there, so it wasn't bad for me. It was bad for everybody else. And then growing up, my mom, I was adopted, so, she was a little bit elderly, and, God bless her heart, she was filled with so much love. Like, she really just wanted the best for me. So, we used to go to, like, church a lot, like, on Sundays and stuff like that. Even, like, during the week. Church was kind of like, for me as a kid, it was boring. Like, I didn't want to go to church, you know what I'm saying? I want to run around, play, and do dumb shit all day. But she made sure I was just there just so I could just build some morals, and I understand more today why I was there all the time. But being there, like, trying to find something to do, it was nothing that was there for me but music, you know what I'm saying? And that's when I kind of tapped into just my ability to just being musically inclined, because I started gravitating towards, like, what they were doing, like playing the drums, the keys, the band, the choir. That was always kind of intriguing to me. And it started there. I started just picking up things and just doing shit on my own. And that's kind of just been just my legacy just going forward, is just really just picking things up and just doing it. So starting there, my older brother, he was involved. He was in the streets. He was doing his thing. He was well known in our hood. And he was also very influential for me, because he really introduced me to hip-hop. I'll never forget, like, he was in a group, it was called Black Lung or something like that. They used to, like, back in the day, old school shit, print out stickers and put them all over the hood. They were on B-Cat, they had videos and shit. So, like, for me, they was my idols, you know what I'm saying? It was just a bunch of street niggas just, like, rapping, trying to just make it. I listened to one of their tapes, and I remember hearing it and listening to my brother rap, and I'm like, yo, this is you? Like, you really on this, you know what I'm saying? And it just blew my mind to hear his voice. So I'm like, yo, I want to do this too. So I started dabbling into it. Again, my mom, she ain't want me to get involved with music. Like, she's like, no, you're going to get shot. Like, you can't do this. You can't go to the studio, or whatever the case is. I was being a kid. I was just figuring out ways to manipulate shit. One year, I made her buy me a karaoke machine for Christmas. And I'm like, yeah, give me this karaoke machine. It was the CD. It was the one with the CD and the cassette, and it had the fucking microphone. They didn't really have effects or nothing like that. But, I made her buy it. And I used to sneak out and go to Nostrand Avenue across the street from McDonald's, and I'll go to the Jamaicans, and I'll buy, like, instrumentals from the Jamaicans. And they was like, Bredro, what you doing in here, man? You're not supposed to be here. They was, yo, let me get a beef patty. And it wasn't getting beef patties back there. It was some whole other shit. But, I started getting instrumentals. Like, back at that time, it was, like, a lot of, like, Jay-Z, Dynasty, and all that type of shit. And I would get the instrumental CDs, load them up on my karaoke machine. Then I would go take my brother's, like, tapes. I took his Biggie tape, like, and I would record over that shit, and I would make my own music.
He'd be tight,
yeah,
though.
He was tight. Yeah, he beat my ass. He beat my ass. But, like, I ain't have no money. I have no tapes, so I had to go fucking figure it out. And that's when I just started learning to kind of, like, record. And, I was explaining my process to, like, like an old school audio engineer not too long ago. And I was like, yeah, I was listening to records, and I was like, yo, how do they get their voices to be double, or how do they get backgrounds and all of that shit? So what I would do was I bought a tape recorder. My mom's get me a tape recorder, and I would pre-record all of my ad-libs and backgrounds, and I would fucking record it while I'm recording on top of the fucking karaoke machine all at once, timed, so I could have all those effects.
Wow.
And I was going to school. Yo, back then we had, like, I forgot what program it was, but we were doing shit on the computer where we could print out pictures and shit. I made my own artwork.
Like the
had the tape.
class or something?
Yeah, I had the fucking tape, cassette, and I put the art, I cut it out, put it in, And I was in school, like, no lie, I was like 4th grade. And I'm like, yo, I got a mixtape. And I'm talking to the people in school. And it was this one teacher. He was like the cool teacher. He was like, what are you doing, man? Like, I'm like, yo, man, this is what I do. Like, I want to be an artist. I want to rap. This is my tape. And it was literally just, you know, riffs of just me, like, rapping over instrumentals and stuff like that. So it went from there, and then obviously, you know, it scaled, you know, as time progressed, and I got older and started to learn and understand just, like, what everything entailed. But that was really, like, the core of everything, like, being musically inclined, growing up in the church and just knowing music, listening to it. You know, my brother, when he was out in the streets, like, I used to just really, like, ramp through his room. I used to go through all his shit, go under the bed. I used to see guns, all type of crazy shit. But the one thing I used to always love was, like, he always kept the radio on. And, like, I would never go to bed unless he came home. So I would chill in his room in the dark, and it would be just the radio playing. And it would be, like, late night R&B shit or just, like, some rap shit. And I would literally just doze off, going in and out of sleep, listening to it. And I realized even to this day, like, when I make records or when I'm doing stuff, like, I always hear, like, those melodies and that sound in my head. You know what I'm saying? It made me appreciate that time of music because of just the beauty and the essence of just what it was and where it came from. And it's like, I feel like now we're constantly trying to chase that with the retro kind of like recreation and things like that. Again, it transitioned into, you know, me getting on a computer one day with my friends. We on Mixcraft. Everybody went back upstairs or went out. And I'm like focusing on my vocals because I wanted to be the superstar. So I'm like, I'm going to make my shit sound better than everybody. And it went from that to, like, now I'm working with the biggest labels in the world, like, literally, like, doing just outstanding, crazy shit that I thought I would never get myself into. So
it's like going from, like, having to record in your room to then going to a multi-million-dollar recording studio and doing the mix and engineering, right?
Yeah,
that's the highlight for you. Like, it's a lab, but it's not the same lab.
Nah, it's not.
It's not the same lab.
It's different. And it's, like, it's crazy because, you know, back in them times, like, when we was doing shit, we did it with nothing. So, like, I always found opportunity in making nothing into something. And I think that's why I cut through and got so many gigs and got so many people kind of, like, tied into just what I am and who I am, is because, like, yo, we take a bald piece of paper and unravel it and make that shit like fucking art. You feel me? Like, that's where we came from. We didn't know nothing but that. And even the way that I learned was also different too. Like, I was just at a school last week with Dylan. I spoke at an audio school, and I'm sitting down and I'm telling the kids fuck school. You know what I'm saying? But not in a negative way, but just kind of like, yo, everybody has their own pathway. School for me was, you know, YouTube and fucking, like, hands-on stuff. Like, school for them is that, and, you know, they're fortunate enough to have that experience, but, like, no one's here to no one can teach you how to create. You feel me? Like, and that's something that I stand real tall on, and I'm just like, yo, listen, y'all, I didn't learn the same way y'all did. Y'all know a lot of the technical aspects of this. Like, I know what heartbreak sound like. I know what 4 a.m. sounds like going to get a Dutch. I know what all of these things sound like, and I know how to articulate it in today's, like, music and technology, and even within myself and helping other artists. And that's just where it's at. You know what I'm saying?
You mentioned your inspiration. Like, what were some of the albums that inspired you growing up?
Man, like, it's funny. Reasonable Doubt was probably one of the number ones. This morning, I listened to Reasonable Doubt. I always listen to Dead Presidents when I'm about to do something motivating. And, like, deal mode or, like, any type of, like, grind mode, I got to throw on Dead Presidents. Even with my team, like, if we got a low kind of, like, time, because we all got highs and lows, I'm like, yo, go pop on Reasonable Doubt. Let's listen to that album and let's regroup. You know what I'm saying? Because Hov really just had the blueprint. He really broke shit down from A to Z with his entire lifetime
it was
catalog.
A strategic plan, like,
And
music.
A recent clip of him talking about.
He was explaining that, but that's yo.
He was like, I would have taken the 500K. I don't know what to say to myself. Like,
He said, I would take the 500K and go buy the records and play it up because I gave you the blueprint.
He was being funny. He's like, take that 500K and go buy some albums. Ain't no albums with 500K. Go buy catalogs. But You know, that's real shit.
Yeah.
The thing is, everything is really out there, and it's been in our faces since day one. It's all about us knowing it's there and retaining it. You feel me?
Yeah.
The
And that's just-
information.
yeah, and that's just what it is, you know?
And one major part is like the follow through. I think like it's there, but you don't follow through with it.
Ideas like 1%. The rest is all action. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
It's all
And hard-
action.
and you
And
gotta
that's-
line yourself up.
That's the thing, man. We gotta just get up and go do shit. Like, you know, the biggest thing, like people say, yo, like chase your dreams, chase your dreams. I be telling people now, like, yo, fuck chasing your dreams, man. Chase your fears, dog, because that's what's stopping you from getting to your dreams.
That's
like, fear has always been something like that stopped me, and my fear is also always like, yo, what is other people gonna think? How are they gonna feel? You know what I'm saying? Is this good enough? Am I good enough? I'm like, yo, fuck that, man. You always good enough. You just gotta apply the pressure and just go in. You know? And like Jay-Z, I'm from Brooklyn, and like Hov, he's not my favorite rapper, but at the same time, it's like he's so inspirational because he literally, you watch the legacy of where he started and where he came up to. So like that's the blueprint for me. And I'm thinking like, yo, Hov would want this to be beyond what he did, right? Like he had Rockefeller, he had the fucking brand and everything like that. So when I'm thinking about like, yo, how am I gonna infiltrate the music industry's ecosystem? What am I gonna do to build that fucking iPhone or build that lifestyle? You feel me? And Hov, they had Rockefeller, they had the brands, they had Dame Dash and all that stuff. I took it a step further, and that's where I'm starting right now, a music distribution company. It's called 10 Plus Years Music. And it's all self-titled. It's all based on like taking 10 years to get to where you want to go. And it's all based off of like new music and technology in the immersive space, and it's dedicated to really independent artists, because I feel like independent artists never get the same access as major artists, and that's not fair, because we are really the core of the streets. We're the core of marketing. We're the core of cultural currency. You feel me? Without indie artists, you have no major artists. So I wanted to make a focus on that so we can kind of induce the quality and just like everything and what we do as up and coming, as independent artists or whatever the case is. So we know like we can have opportunities just like them. You know what I'm saying? Cultural currency is at an all-time high. Like I go to these meetings, I'm talking to all these brands and these companies. Every big brand, I sat down with them, from Apple, Bose, Universal, Sony. I come just like this. Dolby, I come just like this. Gold teeth in my mouth. My whole fit, and I'm my foot on the table, and I'm like, yo, what we doing today? And they're like, we love that. We love true authenticity. We love you for you, because we are connected to the masses of the people who buy all of their products.
Right.
We are the people.
We are the people.
And you know, once you discover that and kind of know like that's the true, like unlock your true potential, is understanding first who you are for real. Because if you're not authentic with yourself, it's like you're gonna be living a lie from timeline to timeline. You're gonna have to impress, do this, and you doing shit you don't want to do. You don't know how to say no. But like when you're true to yourself, the right shit aligns with you, and then life just becomes even better. Life is gonna always be hard though. Don't get it fucked up.
Right.
Like niggas think life is all. I've realized that recently. Life is always gonna be hard. It's always gonna be a struggle, because niggas is never satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More problem.
No,
And
you
it's
know how
like-
much you don't know, and then you be like, oh, wow, there's
Yeah.
more information
Well,
that
like
you
sometimes
had no
you're like-
idea.
You're like, I need to get to this bag. Like, oh, I need to have X amount in my account. Then you get to that amount, you're like, damn, I need to get to this other amount.
Yeah,
There's
man.
never like an actual stopping to that.
Like we're no different from like those rich motherfuckers that's in like fucking Greece or Hollywood Hills. Like the only thing that's different is the quality of life. Like we spending the same type of money. Everybody's budget is just different. Like the rich people, they never have money. Why? Because their money is always working for them. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, you learn about that shit. You learn about just like all the things that you need to do to kind of stay afloat, and staying afloat and above water is probably the hardest thing in this industry. You know, you get a little taste of something or a lifestyle, and it's like you can't go back. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Steve Harvey was talking about going first class. Like, you go on first class that one a couple times, and you like, nigga, it's hard to walk back and go back to them
All the way to
seats,
those-
man.
that last aisle.
Yo, I booked a last minute flight, and I couldn't get first class, and I'm just like panicking. I'm like, yo, I need to get off
I
of
got
this
first
plane,
world
dog.
problems.
Yeah, like, I'm like, I got arthritis. You know what I'm saying? Like, my knees don't even feel right.
I need to.
And it's
sit
like, I was never
this.
like that. I'm like, yo, what type of bougie shit am I on? Like, I never had these problems. But, like, it's all in
It's
the mentality,
mental,
the lifestyle. That shit is real. So it's like, yo, by any means, nigga, you gonna want to do whatever it takes to stay afloat and keep that shit going.
Yeah, no, it's a process, you know, and these experiences that we have is like it highlights who we are, right? And at the same time, we get to break down in retrospect, right?
Right.
So, man, it's amazing, man.
Yep.
And then I remember you was telling me about the Dolby and working with them. Oh,
So with
a little bit.
yeah, we could
A
talk
little bit?
about it. Yeah, Dolby is cool. That was it was dope because they kind of created a new opportunity for me in the industry that I never even thought I would be in. You know, I'm a professional in just the immersive space and kind of creating immersive content. Back in 2021, you know, Apple allotted, you know, a budget for Universal to change their entire catalog into this new immersive format, which is the future of music and the revolution of music. And it's bigger than it's ever been today. You know what I'm saying? So what I do and get the opportunity to do is I get to go into the vault and crack open these old catalogs where it's like you got stuff from like Frank Sinatra, Mary J. Blige, you know, James Brown, you know, whatever, or any type of legacy stuff. And I get to go and look inside those files and recreate those files for the new music format. And it's been pretty inspiring because actually seeing what they were doing at those times and how they made music and how the production was, it kind of really elevates just my musical skill set. And it's like making me like a different type of producer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's a true blessing. It opened a lot of doors. It got a lot of looks for me. And I'm kind of just using that as a way to kind of induce like my platform and my music and my brand and my technology and my companies to kind of all coincide in one thing. So.
Yeah, no, that's amazing because now it's like you taking antique type of analog type of production, right?
Yep.
It's broken down by instrument, by vocals,
all the
effects, all of that, right? And then you taking and digitizing that and rebranding it, so you know it's more like a point of view with the audio engineering, right? The speakers that they doing.
Silly question. So
Go ahead.
I don't know much about music. You said stems. What are stems?
Stems are like the all separate like sounds and instruments that are placed in the music. So like he was saying, you got your vocals, that's one stem, lead vocal, background vocals. You got drums, you got hi-hats, you got strings. Like these are all individual stems. So in a project, you can kind of like organize them and put them on how you want to compose the music.
So
that's how
they can be pretty much recorded separately.
Yep. Recorded, they can be transferred digitally, separately, however way you want to do it.
Dope.
Yeah. Yep.
Speak to us about the projects that you got going on. I know you got a lot of things moving.
Yeah. So right now, I took a step back from just making music only because I really wanted to just learn the business more, and I wanted to kind of create something that would be like the core of like everything that I do. So like I said, you know, I started a label that I'm planning to JV soon. It's a label and distribution company called 10 Plus Music Group, all just based off of young independent artists chasing their dreams and really having the same benefits as the majors. Me, myself, Roc.am, I'm working on a project right now, really just experimenting with music in this new space that I'm in. Experimenting with sounds, really going back in time. Like last night, or actually 2 nights ago, I got invited to like a premiere for Prince. And it was like,
well, the movie's dropping soon, right?
Well, they're dropping some like footage, some stuff that didn't come out yet.
Got it.
And it was just like him at a show. You know, it was like the Diamonds and Pearls album when he was experimenting with hip hop. And yo, that shit inspired me so much because I'm like, yo, damn, like this vibe like this and what they were doing at this time, like
It's crazy.
it's crazy. Like
That
he
was all
pulled
recorded
in
his house too.
Yeah,
Right?
he pulled in like an old school BMW. Like their outfits were crazy. I mean, his outfits were out of control. But like that was the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I'm trying to take elements from stuff like that and kind of just not recreate it, but use it as inspiration to see what's next in music. I think right now, like the music industry and artists, it's just like everyone's throwing paint at the canvas. It's like everyone's trying shit because like we're at like it's a cool place, but it's also a weird place because there's nothing really like cutting through as it should and has it done as it was in the past. You know, I got a single releasing Black Friday.
Right.
It's gonna be a good premiere with another company that I'm working with. And, you know, I'm just going to test the waters and dive back in. But I really want to take this music approach now more based off of, like, what I know and the connections that I have and, like, really helping and promoting and getting other artists involved and really helping their careers. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a big advocate of just, like, yo, we need to kind of really, you got to see for yourself. You got to do those things for yourself and put yourself through the fire. You can't put nobody on if you ain't put yourself on yet.
Of course. And then you know exactly.
Inspiring. That's inspiring.
You're an engineer, so you know exactly how you want everything.
Oh yeah, man. Being an engineer, being an artist, producer, you just understand the room on a very high level. You understand the room sonically. You understand mentally. You understand culturally. Like, you put me in any room, I could just mend and blend with anybody and kind of know like how to work with an artist. And that's always been just like something I've used as an advantage to kind of get through. And, you know, there's times when shit just don't work. You just don't have the chemistry. And the one thing you don't want to do is ever force life.
Yeah.
Forcing life is just, you know, it's just not it. You know what I'm saying? It's stressful. It makes hard. Life is already hard. It makes it 10 times harder. And forcing life is being inauthentic. You know, that
How do you say we're like, all right, cool, now you're successful. And when you get these follow-up projects that everybody, you know, like, how do you feel like, what's your strategy on organizing that, right? Because now you got to manage content, information, and those relationships.
Well, to be honest, like, it starts with yourself and discipline. You feel me? Like, knowing what your weaknesses are and then delegating those weaknesses to people who can pick up that slack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my man Dylan over there. You know, he does a lot for me. He came from just assisting me in the studio to actually being a partner in this company. And whatever I can't pick up on and do, like, he usually has the backbone for it and the resources to get it done. And we got a very small team, but we aspire to, like, grow a big enough team where we have multiple people kind of, like, compensating for all of these different attributes that we kind of, like, have, you know, to balance. And not balance, I hate the word balance. I was just listening to Scooter Braun in a podcast, and he said some shit that resonated with me. And he was like, yo, in life, you don't want to ever create balance because creating balance, you got to take something from one thing and compensate it for the other. He's like, yo, you want to make harmony. You want to make shit work together.
Right.
Everything should work together. And the only way to do that is true authenticity. You align with what you're supposed to be aligned with by not doing the things that works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Might not
So
work
again,
for you, but
Who would you say are like some like inspirations for you and like like the producer?
Man,
field and, field?
Pharrell definitely is up there. And Pharrell for many different reasons, not just because he's a producer, but I just love the way that he just integrates with the lifestyle. You know, from like his skincare products to Louis Vuitton, fashion, contemporary art, all of that stuff. Like, he's just a cool ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I aspire to be like something like that. Kanye is like one of my biggest influences for many different reasons. Just like going through life, like my mom's passed away, my older brother, like a lot of the people in my life passed. And it kind of like happened during the same timelines as Kanye's. So like I would go and gravitate like 808 and Heartbreaks was like my breakthrough album because like my mom died. His mom died around that same album. So I'm listening to that album, kind of mourning through everything, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's definitely like a big connection there. And I just love that he's always against the grain and just always going against society. Like I feel like we need more of that. Like I'm not saying that he's a leader, but we don't have any like true leaders like we did back in the day who's gonna go and just lose their life for shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's kind of just on the internet, like, no, don't do that or stop. Like, who's actually going out there? You feel me? So, you know, I aspire to just either be that way or be around people who are like that and create that kind of community again and just change the world, you know, because that's what it's about. You got to define your purpose in this shit to really be successful. So.
And that's why we on the innovators then. You feel me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We've been innovators, and now it's time to highlight our stories and highlight the people that we've been working with and want to build relationships with. So we appreciate you, coming through and showing love.
Absolutely.
You got a busy calendar, and you know what I'm saying? and the single's about to drop.
Yeah. And November 24th. It's called What You Mean. It's gonna be out. It's gonna be a very special distribution channel. Definitely check that out. 10 plus years music, the official integration and interface to upload and stream all your music is going to be available to the world. So you'll be able to go on my website, go on 10 plus, upload your catalog, speak to me directly. I call it handmade distribution. It's like Goyard back in the day. Like, we coming to your house, you dropping a project, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk to you. We're gonna listen in the studio and we're gonna help you distribute that project the way it should be done.
Beautiful. Yeah, because that don't happen no more. Like, what was it like when they were
like artist
development? You know what I'm saying?
All that stuff is dead.
Yeah, no, artist development.
And it's cool, but like we got to build that back up because it's definitely needed, as we can see. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. Like what we grew up on was like we saw culture developing right in front of us, right? Hip hop, and we Latinos, but we grew up in the community, and that's what we heard on the radio all day. So we gravitated to it, But yeah, man, this was a great episode.
Can people find you online? 10 plus years.
So my Instagram at roc.am, like in the morning, so .am. 10plusyearsmusic.com. It will be open and available very soon for content and everyone to go search. But anything at roc.am. And yeah, if you see me, online, see me in the street, just say what's up. I like to connect and talk with the people. So
yeah, let's go.
Beautiful. Appreciate you.
We got another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Cut.